Special thanks to these companies for being long-term partners of this channel.
Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Zach. Here we talk about overlanding gear, builds, DIY, all sorts of stuff related to modifying your vehicle and getting out there and adventuring in the outdoors. Today, we're going to be talking about the new bumper going on the Land Cruiser. I know a lot of you have been asking for Land Cruiser content, but this summer has been incredibly eventful and I've had to push off a little bit of that stuff. No more to that. We are finally getting it all installed. So we're actually here standing in my new shop. I've got a ton of content planned for this space as well, but it's all a mess. Everything is a mess. We're trying to get everything organized, and it's just been an interesting process getting everything moved in. So thanks for bearing with me. I've just got kind of a couple other announcements. We're actually doing a third member kind of re-gear. So if you haven't known before, what you can do is you can actually order third members for your vehicle if you've got solid axles. Otherwise, they're called clamshells for independent front suspension. And a lot of guys, will do a re-gear on their Tacoma or 4Runner if they're getting heavy or they want to put on bigger tires. So I've actually started a group buy for this with a super reputable gear company out of California. They're called Premier West Gears. They've been doing it for over 20 years and we've got an incredibly competitive price on these. The best part about third members too is you don't need to be a gear specialist to install them. So for all of you DIY guys out there that want to just do this yourself, you totally can. And then if you want to also take it to your local mechanic, he can probably toss them in, or she can probably toss them in, well, at a lower rate and probably a super quick install, maybe an hour or two. I'm not quite sure. Depends on how experienced they are. So if you want to actually sign up for that group buy, click the link down below. It'll take you to the main page of my website. I've got a banner up top where you can fill out a form. That's going to just help give us a little bit more information so that myself and Premier West, we can get you all sorted out. And then give them a call once you fill out that form and talk to them about getting your quote put together and a deposit put down, because there's sort of like a ballpark price on that screen pop-up that I did, but honestly, everyone has a different style vehicle. There's different add-ons, all kinds of different options. So you got to really call them and get a good number quote. But it's a pretty good discount with the group buy, and we've got, I think, over 10 people already signed up just over the weekend. So go jump in and save yourself some money. So like I said, if you like what I'm doing with the channel, please consider subscribing. Like this video if it brings you any sort of value or you like this sort of content. And let's jump right into the install.
So pulling this front bumper is really simple. All you do is you pull these two side bolts on this front frame piece, and then there's 2 bolts from the bottom. So you pull 4 bolts on this side, 4 bolts on that side, and this entire front bumper is off. So that's where we're at right now. What I'm thinking about doing is, this frame is honestly really good condition for coming out of Iowa, and also just for being a 30-year-old car. It's just impressive that it's this clean. What I'm gonna do though is, spots where there are a bit of rust, I'm gonna hit them with a wire brush and just throw some extra paint on there just to see if we can prevent any future rusting. And then we're gonna start throwing on that front Dissent bumper. So let's start cleaning this up. Okay, so once we get all of this cleaned up, bolting everything on is pretty simple and straightforward. The front bumper hardware kit comes with 8 of these long bolts. They have a finer thread. 2 go on the top, 2 go on the bottom. And what you're seeing here is actually a secondary plate. So the main cradle just bolts in on the bottom on both sides. And then this external frame piece, it's just this portion, and then it curves over the top of the front of the frame here. And then on both sides, you'll have this stainless steel Allen key bolt with a nut on the back. These don't take washers. Put this piece and these 2 bolts and these two bolts all in loose. So my cradle isn't even tightened down yet. The one caveat to my install that's a little different than other people's is this front part of my frame was actually sort of bent. So we bought this thinking it was a clean, you know, no accidents vehicle. I think this front right corner actually got hit somehow. Everything still fits, just been a little bit tighter. I don't think I'm gonna end up putting in these bolts in the back, but I really don't see that as a big issue because these humongous lag bolts, they're gonna hold everything nice and tight. So that's how you do this portion. Now we're gonna start putting on the wing that will come out right over here. So I just wanted to show this intermediate step. It's the exact same on both sides, so don't worry about, you know, how to do the other side. It's the exact same. All right, so huge shout out to Harbor Freight for sending out another Harbor Freight Badlands winch. So we've got their sweet 12K winch, the top of the line one with the synthetic line and wireless remote. This is what I'm running on the 4Runner, and I'm super stoked to be running it on the Land Cruiser as well. It's an absolutely awesome winch. So just kind of laying out some of the hardware. So if you open up one of the bags of hardware, we've got these two stainless steel bolts. They are what we use with the front fair lead, I believe that's what this is called. So this is going to bolt on to the front of our bumper here, and then we've got these square nuts. These are what are going to slip into the bottom of our winch and allow us to bolt this up to the actual cradle over there. So just wanted to kind of show this. This is some relocation hardware. This is the isolator switch that comes with the kit, and we've got a hook there, and then this is the wireless remote. Here is some wire. I think this is for you to connect the remote to the winch if you're going to use the wired option. And then we have some relocation wires down there. So winch is right here. I'm gonna actually try and keep the box or the controller box on the top of it. I think it might be able to sneak in. We've got quite a bit of space here on the front of the Land Cruiser. So we're gonna start connecting this up, and hopefully it all bolts together super easily. Alright, so the front of this fair lead bolt is an 8. The back of this is, wow, a 19 mil. Sweet. So these are the same size bolts as the main bolts on the bumper itself. Remember to put the fair lead on first, always. Flat washer, lock washer, and the nut. I think there's 16. I have one. Here's 16. Yep. Okay. I think I did them to 30 foot-pounds on the 4Runner. So we're gonna do the same thing. Yeah, I will. I'll use your help once I can get the winch all mounted here. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so there are a couple of bolts here to remove the 3 prongs, and these are connected to the control box on top. There's also some screws around the top of the control box. We had to remove it because there's a piece of metal right here underneath that was getting in the way, so unfortunately had to remove it. So we're gonna have to relocate the control box. So the kit comes with 3 of these terminal extensions. So we put these on just like this and get a long socket to tighten them on. I presume these are 1/2. They'll go on there just like that. These are a couple of, I think they're just like countersinking screws. They're Phillips, they've got some blue Loctite on them. And then these are those standoffs. They actually take a 13 mil. So we are gonna tighten these all down. Nice, good and snug. I don't think we need to over tighten these either. There, this one. There, okay. Now I can connect some 3 wires to it, and then this is a cap that comes with it. Put that on there, we'll be good to go. All right, so we got it all relocated. There's 3 screws that just go into plastic, so don't over tighten those. They use a Torx head on them. And yeah, just tuck the cables in here, so now we can set the cradle up on the bumper. I think it should fit good now. So let's go ahead and toss it up there. All right, so we were able to get the winch cradle all mounted up here. There's just 4 bolts from the bottom. We still need to put on some side panels right here. So we'll get those bolted up. They just take 2 bolts right back here. They're a 19 millimeter. And then we'll be able to put in some Allens that are used to kind of stabilize this side piece as you put a couple more parts on. So let's start doing that. So what we did is we removed this light right here. It's just 2 screws. There's a screw here and a screw right there. And that was just to get access to this area in here, because what we have to do is we have to put some bends in the tubing for the AC dryer. So you can see this line has a bend. This line in the back also has a pretty big bend, but it's able to hide it up here nicely, because this bracket, you can see there's a hole here and then there's a hole right in here. It is rotated 90 degrees. This was the original 2 bolt spots for it. We rotated it 90 degrees, and then we also cut off a little bit. So if you look on the back there, we cut right here with a grinder so that this wasn't gonna hang way out here. If you're installing this bumper, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what you do to get this AC dryer from kind of sticking down right here and turning it up to fit right behind the bumper there. So again, on this side now, we just need to mount this wing of the bumper. The bumper actually sits on the head of these Allen bolts, which is pretty sweet. So you take your wing and you set it on top of there, and then you start putting your bolts in so that you can hook up that front cover that goes over this tow hook hole.
So once you get those two wings mounted up, then you can start putting on the more decorative plates. So there's this plate that goes on top that covers that joint between the two. There's just 4 bolts. There's stainless steel. And then this front plate you can get in a variety of types. I just wanted the 3-inch pod type, so this is an SS3 with a amber backlight and a yellow light, and it comes with these bolts. And all I did was mount it. It's a flush mounted light, but I mounted it behind the plate, so I think it turned out pretty nice. So both sides are done though, and I actually don't have a switch pros or anything set up yet, so I can't connect them to some sort of electrical system yet. That'll be in a future video. You can also get like a triple hoop bull bar for this, but I just like the cleaner look, having it lower like it is. So yeah, that's basically the whole bumper install though. I think it turned out really awesome.
Alright, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this bumper, I'll have it linked down below. Dissent Offroad, I think, makes some of the best Land Cruiser bumpers out there. There's not a lot of people making Land Cruiser armor, so definitely go check out Dissent Offroad. Huge shout out to them for wanting to work with me on the Land Cruiser build. I really appreciate their support, and there's going to be a lot more Land Cruiser content coming in the near future. So watch out for that. The algorithm for YouTube has changed a little bit, so consider turning on that notification bell, because that will help you see my videos. They'll actually send like a notification to your phone or something. Lately it feels like my videos are probably not being recommended as much, and you know, it's a little bit of a drag when people are trying to watch my content, but YouTube isn't suggesting it to them. So if you really want to see my content when I drop it, I try to announce it on Instagram. But clicking that notification bell will also really help your chances of seeing when I drop new videos. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.